going to start working on the... I'm going to start working on the video sharing. If I can find it.
Oh, there we go. Ghost Claw Productions Radio, Kennedy Effect. We're up and running on there.
Yep, I'm going to start sharing from there.
And then you want to know about...
Something I do need to work out with him is I don't know why we're not on the entertainment page. We're always on the production
Wait a minute,
page.
the boss needs me. Hang on a second.
No, absolutely she does. I know who's in charge.
You know, I really have to bolt the door, and I just have to put the red light outside the door that it's on.
Do you need to borrow that?
Yeah.
I need to. Okay.
I need. I need the on. Yeah, I need the on-air sign. I need the on-air sign, and to bolt the door.
I will figure out where that came from. That's an Amazon thing, I think. And I will.
No, I just need like one of like those medieval, door things that basically just, you'll block the door in. And...
So that she would need some type of trebuchet to get to you. In other
words.
Right. Yeah. A battering ram of some sort. I can understand. I can understand that.
Can you go get that package outside? Yeah, I'm just doing a show.
I'm gonna find you an on-air site. I don't think this one was terribly expensive. Where are we right now? There we are, right there.
All right. What is Kristen gonna go there? Oh.
Okay.
Muppets Take Manhattan and Treasure Island.
What?
Something that your wife wants to go to. On Facebook, I just got a notification.
You get notifications when she says she wants to go places? I don't.
No, it's from notification. It's Hillary Klein's, and well, Hillary wants to go to ribbon cutting for Bucky Boyle renovations. I don't know why. And Kristen wants to go to Muppets Take Manhattan and
of course.
Muppet Treasure Island at the drive-in. So guess where you're gonna go?
I think I'm going to see Muppet movies that I could stream.
No, sorry. Oh, that's too bad. That was Saturday, May 3rd. Oh well. I just see that now. It's like going up. It's on the calendar. Okay.
Doing the group sharing. Let's see when I get stopped here. Should be soon. Did as much as I can do there. Okay. Where are we at? 6 p.m.
That there.
Okay. Just a sec. Less than a minute. Waiting for the magic 601. Come on. And then time stopped. It's a timey-wimey thing. 601. Okay. Play. Play. Play.
Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
Do you want a man for president who's seasoned through and through, but not so doggone seasoned that he won't try something new? A man who's old enough to know
And young enough to do.
well, it's up to you, it's up to you. It's strictly up to you.
But it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
Do you want a man with spirit who is not afraid to fight?
A man whose record shows that he will fight for what is right.
A loyal man who'll bring the job a fresh new point of view? Well, it's up to you, it's up to you. It's strictly up to you.
Cause it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
And do you deny to any man the right he's guaranteed to be elected president, no matter what his creed?
It's promised in the Bill of Rights to which we must be true.
So it's up to you, it's up to you. It's strictly up to you.
And it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me. Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
Do you like a man who answers straight, a man who's always fair? We'll measure him against the others, and when you compare, you'll cast your vote for Kennedy and a change that's overdue. So it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you.
Yes, it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me.
Kennedy, 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 Kennedy,
Welcome, welcome, welcome from my humble second bedroom here in the Saucon Valley, part of the Lehigh Valley in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, part of these United States. For the moment, North American continent, Western Hemisphere on this planet Earth, the only one we have. Third rock from the sun in the Terran solar system, part of the Milky Way galaxy. This is the Kennedy Effect, live with you for the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you. I said it. God help me. I said it. I said it. I did it. I geeked out and I said it. May the 4th be with you. And I hope it is. Here's one of the cool things about May the 4th. I am not going to start a great debate between Star Wars and Star Trek. I simply refuse to do it. I will not. I am much more of a Star Trek person than a Star Wars person. However, every time any of the Star Wars movies are on TV, I watch them. I pretty much stop and watch them. I could also say the same for all the Star Trek movies, as well as most, but not all, of the Marvel movies, and absolutely 100% Lord of the Rings. Every time it's on, I will stop what I'm doing and watch it, no matter how many times I have already seen them. That said, there is room for both, folks. It's one of these great, ridiculous geek debates in all of geekdom, and dumb being a pretty prescient word, if you wouldn't mind my saying. But we, gosh, it's, it's not something that should really be a debate. I mean, if I'm being honest, honestly, it really isn't. It's something that we should not be. This is not a debate. There's room for both. We can enjoy both. We're adults. Let's act like it. There's Daisy the dog weighing in from downstairs. She's on a barking rant. I have no idea what the hell she's barking about, or at, or for, or against. No idea. I haven't worked out the up style dog translator for her yet, but she's on about something, Jim. I know that.
Maybe she's weighing in on the Star Wars, Star Trek
She
debate.
very well could be.
I don't know.
I know it. It could be. And why wouldn't she? I mean, if you're thinking about it, why wouldn't she? It's exactly what she should be doing, is weighing in on something like that. So George tells me that the program appears to be going everywhere that it should be going. Just for you, sir, I did share out of the Ghost Claw YouTube to our YouTube, so hopefully it's over there as well. When you and I were looking at the YouTube page yesterday, by the way, I don't think a lot of stuff is going there, even though we're sending it there, and even though YouTube is saying that you're all fine and that it is there, but I don't think it's actually getting there. But I did share it exactly the way YouTube instructed me to. So big welcome to Donna and Mike and Junquia, and I never am sure if I'm saying that right. I believe that she's told me I have been saying that correctly, but I never am 100% sure. And of course, Sherry from PDX Progressive Talk Radio, blasting truth and progressive news and talk all over, well, really all over the country via the internet, but also across the great Pacific Northwest via PDX Progressive Talk Radio. If you haven't checked them out, please do so. You are watching and listening live to the Kennedy Effect for the 4th of May, 2025. We are live right now on the Facebook pages of Ghost Claw Productions, the TCP Media Group, Our Revolution Pennsylvania, Hot101.net, and of course, our home group Facebook page for all things that surround our program, That Other Side of Information. And I can tell you, to the people who are members of our group, I have been allowing a lot more members to post there lately, because it is your group too. It's not just my group. I shouldn't be limiting who can and cannot post there. Wow, we must be popular on YouTube, because man, do they throw a lot of commercials in there. One of these days on your end, you need to watch the GCPR YouTube of this show and just watch the number of commercials that pop up. Don't tell me that we don't have a lot of people checking us out on YouTube, because man, the commercials that pop up are really shocking. Well, I mean, the commercials themselves are not shocking. They're commercials for like laundry detergent and things like that. But I mean, the quantity of them is really quite amazing. That said, all of that said, all things that surround our program, That Other Side of Information, there's been a lot more membership participation lately, and I hope that you will continue to do that. I hope you will continue to invite people to become part of the Facebook group as well. I really do want to get to 1,500, 1,500. I just joined a new group this week, or I should say that they were nice enough to allow me to join them. It's called Podcasters on Facebook, with nearly 80,000 members. And if anybody is joining us from that particular group for the first time, or if you're watching the recording for the very first time, a special hello to you. The audio of the I should say the video of the program, of course, is going out to two YouTube channels, because my ego is not big enough for one. The YouTube channel of Ghost Claw Productions Radio, and my personal, I guess, not personal. We started it. Let's put it that. Maybe that's the best way to say it. That Other Side of Information, just like our Facebook group, That Other Side of Information YouTube channel. We are on both right now, or at least I hope we are on both right now. We should be on both right now. I set it up that way, so hopefully. Junquia mentions the advertisements are always something that you're. Yeah, I'm not talking about them because I'm like pushing the products I talk about it because if no one was watching us, YouTube's computer algorithm would not be shoving unsolicited ads in the middle of it, if that makes sense. If we were so small and insignificant, I don't think they would be shoving ads in it. But obviously we've reached some level in their algorithm that they are sticking these ads in. That's why I brought it up. The audio of the program blasting around the globe via 2 giant internet radio stations. Hot101.net, our name is our web address, and Hot101.net, of course, being one of the originals, one of the very first global internet radio stations. Hot101.net, hot.101.net. Anywhere that you can connect to the internet, you can listen to Hot101.net through the main website. You can also use our apps: Apple App Store for Apple devices, Google Play Store for Android devices, and the TuneIn radio app. Go to the search bar, type in Hot101.net, and you will be listening to us. Period. You got it right there. We'll be right there for you. You can also tell Alexa to play Hot101.net, and you can listen to Hot101.net, by the way, completely 100% for free. Does not cost you anything. Hot101.net is completely for free. All we ask you to do is support the DJs and our program that's on there. You can do it a variety of ways. Most of the DJs have Patreon accounts set up. They do have some advertisers, as we do. You support those advertisers. When you support the advertisers, you are supporting us. You're supporting our program. There's a lot of ways to support the folks on Hot101.net, and I hope that you will do that, because you can listen to them completely for free. Completely for free. Why can't I get to this now? I don't want this. Fine, let's do it that way. Oh. Are you having any trouble getting to Smooth CA anymore? I'm getting a GoDaddy page that won't let me go to them now.
Yes, I am.
So we can't do that anymore? We can't read that, huh?
No, can't read it.
Okay.
Because
I lost the image for it that had the nice synopsis. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think she's redoing.
It's being blocked
I think she
by
might
GoDaddy.
be redoing it or
Okay.
going over to a different.
Yeah, it's being blocked by GoDaddy.
A different host.
God bless GoDaddy.
Hosting
Aren't they
site.
the best? Of course, our other radio station is the one that I am proud to be 50% owner of. That, of course, is GCPR.live, Ghost Claw Productions Radio.live, Ghost Claw Productions.live, GCPR.live. You can listen through our website as well. Again, if you can connect to the internet, you can listen to us through the website 100% completely for free. We have a functioning Android app. Go to the Google Play Store. You can find it. You can also download it from our website completely for free. Or go to Google Play Store. You'll find it there as well. And this is for Android devices. We have an Apple app that's being worked on as we speak. Gilbert has a particular dysfunctional relationship with Apple. It is completely unjustified, but it is how he feels about it. So he did Android first, because that's what he knows and that's what he's more versed with. So Apple app on the way. I'm saying it in a very gentle way to say that Gilbert just doesn't like Apple. So of course he did the Android stuff first. So Apple folks like me, we're gonna have to wait.
We talked about it on the help desk, and he is entirely justified.
No, well, he feels he's entirely justified. That's the thing. Anyway, phone line is open, 267-227-9189. It's right over my left shoulder, right side of your screen.
Yes,
Because of mirrors. It's over my left shoulder. It's on the right side of your screen. 267-227-9189. 267-227-9189. 267-227-9189. Sherry from PDX asking if we saw Marjorie Taylor Greene's town halls where 7 people arrested. We've talked about it, I think, 2 weeks ago when she and honestly, to her, I actually gave her some credit for having town halls. Republicans have been instructed by leadership to not have town halls and to ignore their own constituents. She at least had one, and yes, we did see the dissenters that were
the brown
arrested.
shirts meeting.
Yeah, the brown shirts meeting.
I saw that one.
Right. Yeah. In fact, one of the women who was grabbed and taken out, I think she may have been tased, is suing the local police department, suing her, and the local police department, if I'm not mistaken, I'm working from memory now, if I'm not mistaken, put those officers on administrative leave. Oh, we had a phone call, but she hung up on us. Put those officers on administrative leave pending an investigation for their use of excessive force. So yeah, we did talk about that. I was not aware that she had any further town halls. I certainly do not make it a habit of following Representative Green because I like to sleep at night.
Hello.
Sherry.
Hi.
Sherry, welcome. My audience, hello. This is Sherry from PDX Radio in blasting progressive talk and truth and news throughout the great, green, wonderful Pacific Northwest. Sherry, welcome to the program. It's very kind of you to give me a couple minutes, especially with a 3-hour delay that you should be spending with your family, by the way, on a Sunday.
Yes, I know. I will. I had to drop off the call earlier because I was on my Google Voice. So sorry for the confusion.
Nope, and that's how we take our calls, is Google Voice, actually.
Oh, okay. So then you and I will have to talk about how I either need to watch it from my phone and call through Google Voice, or figure out how to change the volume. Or change the sound from one to the other, because it's very confusing.
That's
not why I called.
That's okay. I was going to say, we have a show for that. It's called the Help Desk. They're on every Tuesday from 6 p.m. 6 to 8. 6 to 8 on Tuesdays, correct?
Well, actually, we're going to be cutting it down to an hour from 6 to 7.
Well, we should do 7 to 8 and lead right into my show. These are programming things that you need to talk to the guy who does programming about.
But then I have to talk to the boss. I talk to the big boss.
Oh, I don't have to live with your boss. I'm not worried about your boss.
You have your boss. I got my boss.
Anyway, Sherry, what do you got? I'm sorry. We're having fun.
You guys are hilarious.
We're having a ridiculous first half hour. What can I tell you?
So what my comment about the Marjorie Taylor Greene thing is, she had an updated one.
Okay.
There's a more recent one where more people got arrested.
So it looked very 1920s black-shirted Italy, and it looked very 1930s brown-shirted Germany, is basically what we're saying? Yeah.
One girl said I may be wrong, this may be old. One girl said the F word, and another guy said
that shouldn't shock me.
And
she makes
both of them were escorted out by the police.
Yeah, well, Marjorie Taylor Greene uses that language as a matter of, a regular course of business around Capitol Hill. So I can't imagine why someone of her deep intellect and class would be would be so bothered by such a word. It is the Queen's English.
The issue is, this is a direct deflection from our First Amendment rights. And what a lot of people seem to be confused about is sites like Facebook and TikTok and others don't need to adhere to First Amendment rights because they're private corporations. Marjorie Taylor Greene, on the other hand, is a government representative. She is an official of the U.S. government, a representative of the people of Georgia. she must adhere
And
to
probably-
First Amendment rights.
And probably will be the Republican nominee for the United States Senate, which is a hell of a comment on where we are in this country anyway. But Sherry, let me propose this to you, and I know you can't stick around for too long. You should be with your family. I mean that in all sincerity. But I'm very thrilled.
Yeah.
But believe me, I'm thrilled that you're here. But it is nice of you to take family time away. We've talked on the program. It's one of the statements that I've actually gotten some pushback about. But to be honest with you, I'm surprised I haven't received more pushback about. Why? Now that the United States is a fascist nation, why should we be surprised by the behavior at her town halls? Why should why should that bother us?
I wouldn't say simply because our Constitution has not, and our Declaration of Independence and our Bill of Rights have not all been torn to shreds, though they seem to think that they don't have to adhere to it.
They're being violated on a daily basis, and
they
then when the courts
being violated on a daily basis.
And then when the courts rule that they're being violated, the regime decides to just ignore those court rulings because courts sadly have no enforcement powers. That's left to, especially the federal courts, that's left to the Justice Department. The Justice Department now, of course, is a fully incorporated extension of the White House.
It is.
So
it
why?
Is, for sure.
I can certainly understand why we should all be bothered by this. It was a poor choice of words by me in my original question. But in fact, this is what fascism looks like.
I think what the people with hands off and indivisible and a lot of the other organizations that are promoting and organizing these protests are doing much of what we need to do, but you are doing fantastic work. Both of you are. Being here, stepping up, speaking out.
Well,
the people
don't
on TikTok,
inflate George's
there are
ego,
independent commentators. All of us are now putting ourselves out there knowing that, I don't know how far you know it's gone, but they're starting to arrest dissenters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so we are dissenters, and we are putting ourselves out there in public saying, we will not stand for this. Jessica Craven, Heather Cox Richardson, all of them, even the commentators, Jim Acosta, and the others, are all making themselves present. Mm-hmm. And trying to get as many people involved and understanding what's happening as they possibly can. So I think the larger question is why shouldn't we be infuriated by this? Because I think the majority of us are. The question is, how do we protect what little we have left with the Organization for Public Broadcast, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, stations like KBOO, stations like America One, Free Speech, there's the Free Speech station, and the organizations, both private and public, who are working to fight against this. How do we protect us? Because the Constitution obviously doesn't have a place at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose we can only protect us if if the Constitution was being adhered to, which it clearly isn't. George and I have, of course, joked too many times, to be fair. Probably too many times. That we just kind of hope that we end up in the same prison camp together. So at least we'll know somebody. But I also don't think that's too far away from where we're coming toward, if that makes sense.
We're headed there. It's 44% implemented.
Yeah.
Project 2025 is currently 44% implemented, and what they're talking about is having it implemented the rest of the way by July.
Right. I think it's higher than that, but I'm certainly not going to split hairs on that. I think it's actually up in the almost 2/3. And this was the plan. It was there for everybody to read in black and white, all 912 pages. And if you didn't want to read it, there were countless different YouTube videos and videos of other types that TikTok and many other places that would have that gave you a video breakdown.
I did an entire show about the Heritage Foundation and Project 2025, and so have other people live on TikTok, on radio stations, on your channel, all over the place.
We did a ton of them, and keep sending your programs to the Facebook group. You are welcome to post them there anytime you wish.
Thank you.
Because it's harder for us here on the East Coast with the time difference, but it'll be I hope that I can call in to you in reverse at some point, but it's hard. I'm usually working, and you're on a weekday, but we'll figure something out. But my point is, we've done several shows on it myself, and I wanted to actually share something with you while you're here, exactly within these within the realm of what we're talking about here, which I have a little too close to my face, so now it's all blurry. Headline: Trump in a new interview says he doesn't know if he backs due process rights.
I saw that today.
This is posted on the Associated Press app. I highly recommend the Associated Press app, not because they're advertising here, they are not, but because I think it's a really good app and I think it's easy to use. The articles are easy to read. They're usually short, quick reads. They're well written. They're intelligently written, and I think you should check it out. This is written by Amer Madhani, Amer Madhani. I always spell it because I know I butcher these folks' names, and I don't mean to do that. It's disrespectful, but I don't mean to do that. So this is written by Amer Madhani. It was posted today around 11 a.m. till 12 noon. Dateline, West Palm Beach, Florida. Trump is circumspect about his duties to uphold due process rights laid out in the Constitution, saying in a new interview that he does not know whether U.S. citizens and non-citizens alike deserve that guarantee. By the way, the Constitution very explicitly says that due process rights are not limited to citizens, but rather any person on U.S. soil.
Yes.
Now, it doesn't specifically say...
Anybody that took a 5th grade history class knows that.
And by the way, when Trump and all the rest of the sycophants raised their hands and took the oath to protect, uphold, and defend the Constitution, that would mean that part of it too. We don't get to just pick and choose the ones we like.
Right.
It means the entirety of the Constitution. Look, I've made this joke on the program before, folks at home. We're going to celebrate a 250th anniversary of the Declaration here in 2026. Isn't it too bad we didn't make it that far as a democracy? We got so close. We got so close, and we didn't.
We did make 200 years, but that's
we did, but we didn't make 250. We're going to celebrate 250 like we're somehow still some kind of democracy, but we're not. Right. We are not.
And it'll be even worse by then.
Right. Yes, it will. He also said he does not think military force will be needed to make Canada the 51st state, and played down the possibility he would like to run for a 3rd term. Well, if you don't think the Canadians would fight back, you're in a fantasy land, as they should, by the way. When any occupying force tries to take your own sovereignty, let me see, what does that sound like? Russia and Ukraine, the United States and Iraq, the United States and Afghanistan, France and Afghanistan, Great Britain and Afghanistan, China, Japan, Great Britain, France, and the United States and Vietnam. The comments in a wide-ranging and at moments combative, surprise, interview with NBC's Meet the Press came as the president's efforts to quickly enact his agenda faced sharper headwinds with Americans just as his second administration crossed the 100-day mark, according to recent polling. Trump, however, made clear that he is not backing away from his to-do list, that he insists the American electorate broadly supported when they elected him in November. Again, current president won this election by 1.4%. When you take into account the percentage of Americans who are eligible to vote and the percentage of Americans who, well, yeah, no, I'm right. Only about 30% of the total eligible voters in this country put this man back in the White House. That's
Yes.
not a mandate. And I'd be
It
happy to
isn't.
send the president a dictionary if I thought he'd open it. But it's heavy
Right.
because there's a lot of words in it, and I don't think he'll open it.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your effort, and thank you for all that you do. You are amazing.
Well,
and
we
I have
will
to go.
We will find.
And
Go
we will
spend time with your family. Maybe if we're still on the air when you're done, then we're here. The recording, of course, always stays on Facebook for 30 days, and it always stays on YouTube. I very much hope that we get to hear from you again, and I hope that we can work together further and deeper in more meaningful ways. And well, maybe that's not the right wording, but you know what I mean. And in
Looking
more
forward
ways
to
in
it.
the future.
Looking forward to it. Take care, sir.
Thank you, Sherry.
Take care, audience. You guys are fabulous. Thank you for supporting these guys.
That's Sherry with PDX, Progressive Talk Radio. You need to be listening to them as well. It's not hard. They broadcast from a terrestrial radio station in Portland, Oregon, KBOO, which is kind of cool. KBOO. That's neat.
I do a lot of stuff on my own from my home studio
Right.
as well.
I was getting there. I was getting to that one.
Yeah.
In addition to KBOO, you do your own internet-based broadcasting from home as well. And okay, now there's a Wegovy commercial on my show. That's cool.
Oh, geez.
But then again, I'm going to be diabetic anyway. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why there's a Wegovy commercial. And now there's a Hims
Have a
commercial.
good weekend. Take care, you
Thanks,
guys.
Sherry. Bye now. Now there's a Hims commercial. I'm hoping that's not a commentary on my physical prowess. Nobody? That's funny. Folks, sorry. That's a funny one. It's really good stuff. I just need you to know that. 6:31 Eastern Time. 6:31 Eastern Time. Time to reset the program. You are listening and watching too. You are listening to and watching, he tried to say. The Kennedy Effect live with you for the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you and yours and everyone around you. We are live right now on the Facebook pages of Hot101.net, Our Revolution, Pennsylvania. Oh, God, that's a distracting comment, Mike. That's distracting. Our Revolution, Pennsylvania, Hot101.net, the TCP Media Group, and of course, Ghost Club Productions. We're live, of course, on our home group Facebook page for our program, That Other Side of Information. Not one, but two YouTube channels. The YouTube channel of Ghost Claw Productions Radio and our own YouTube, That Other Side of Information. The radio portion of the program blasts around the globe, hot101.net. Our name is our web address. Tell Alexa to play hot101.net. Listen on your desktop, laptop, tablet, phone, Bluetooth it to speakers, in the car, in the shower. Apple App Store for Apple devices, Google Play Store for Android devices, and the Tune In radio app. And if you're looking for Spanish language programming, go to caliente101.net. Caliente being the Spanish word for hot. It's really quite simple. CALINETE. I think I spelled it correctly. Caliente101.net. George is saying, yes, I did spell it right. Wow, I spelled something right. I haven't done that, I think, since the 3rd or 4th grade. But that's cool. I'll take it. I was never a spelling bee guy. Never enjoyed it. But anyway, there's that. Also, GCPR, of course, Ghost Claw Productions Radio, GCPR.live. I have already dropped the web links for hot101.net and GCPR.live in the chat. They're over there. Scroll back. You should be able to find them. GCPR.live. You can listen to us on our website as well, GCPR.live. Android app is fully functional. Apple app on the way. You can listen to us on any type of device that you can connect to the internet. It's really quite simple. And both hot101.net and GCPR.live are completely 100% free. So please support us through our Patreon, support our advertisers, support the other hosts and DJs, and just let us know that you're out there. It means everything to us. We appreciate it very, very much. I want to get to one of the topics that I laid out on the header of the program, and that would be this. Bernie Sanders did a rally 5 minutes down the road from where we live here in the Lehigh Valley. And it occurred to me that, well, let me start this way. This is from yesterday. This is from LehighValleyNews.com, which is powered by our NPR and PBS stations. By our PBS station, Channel 39, and 91.3 WLVR, which is our NPR station. The website, or the app, actually, the LehighValleyNews.com app, because there's a LehighValleyLive.com app as well. LehighValleyNews.com app. If you're anywhere even close to Lehigh Valley, this is another wonderful, wonderful app. Incredibly easy to use. It's free. I highly suggest that you check it out. So let me read from the article. This was posted yesterday, just about 24 hours ago, really, a little after 6 o'clock. This was posted yesterday, written by Tom Shortell, Shortel. Tom Shortell. This is a Dateline Bethlehem. A packed Stabler Arena roared to life Saturday as U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders railed against President Donald Trump and the moneyed interests that he said have poisoned American politics. In a space where sports fans cheer on for Lehigh University's athletes, a crowd of about 6,000 screamed their support and stomped their feet for the 83-year-old Vermont Independent. Saturday was the progressive icon's third stop in Pennsylvania since Thursday on his Fighting Oligarchy tour. Quote, "You're not only a great crowd, but you are loud. I think Trump can hear you all the way down in Mar-a-Lago," he said. Sanders noted the crowd was only a short drive from Gettysburg, where President Abraham Lincoln famously described American democracy as, quote, "a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. But the modern political system has allowed powerful elites to concentrate power among themselves," he said. As if to drive home this point, Sanders said the world's three richest men, Tesla CEO Elon Musk, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, and Meta Facebook chairman Mark Zuckerberg stood behind Trump at his inauguration in January. Now, Sanders said, the Trump administration is rushing to cut government services that benefit the common man so the nation's wealthiest can get a tax cut. Quote, "Right now, we have government of the billionaire class, by the billionaire class, for the billionaire class. And we are not going to accept that," Sanders said. Sanders denounced Trump's efforts to slash Medicaid, gut the Department of Veterans Affairs, and weaken Social Security. By the way, he's not looking to just weaken Social Security, he's looking to end it. But he didn't hold off on blasting Democratic leadership either. The party cleared the way for Trump's arrival by gradually failing to stand up for average Americans over the last 50 years, the Reagan era. He said, the Nixon-Reagan era. Millions of working-class voters abandoned the party after finding themselves working longer hours, paying higher rents, and unable to afford college educations for their children. Quote, "The Democratic Party is going to finally have to say we're going to stand with those people. We're prepared to take on the greed of corporate America," Sanders said to wild cheers. And brings up one of the header topics that I had for the program posted on our video streaming. And that is this. it's a question, really. And I hope that you will take the time to try to call in and talk to us. I want to welcome Michael Pruitt, Randall into the chat. If there's anybody else that I missed to say hello to or welcome to, please drop your name in the chat. We'll say hello to you. Love to know where you are as well. I happen to know where most of the people are that are in there right now. But if you let us know where you are, I'll just be curious. You know, not an address or anything, just a town and a state would be neat. Just kind of like to know where everybody is. There are a lot of self-identified Democrats who are pretty mad at Bernie for doing this tour. They're mad at AOC for doing it with him. They've been getting some of the more mainstream members of the House who have been accompanying Bernie on some of these stops. Representative Chris DeLuzio was with PA Representative Chris DeLuzio was with Bernie yesterday, Saturday. They've begun to get pushback about joining him on this. Mike is in Kentucky, cool, and he's going to be with Thomas next weekend. That's awesome. They're mad at Bernie for doing this tour. There's a lot of more centrist mainstream, if you will. I don't think mainstream's really right. I happen to think the progressive wing of the party is the mainstream of the party. It's what the party was built on, going back to Jefferson and Madison themselves. The more centrist corporate Democrats seem to be really mad at Bernie for this tour. And it made me think of a question. And it's a discussion that Kristen and I had, and I don't think either one of us was able to answer the question, and I'm hoping that perhaps some of you will want to take a crack at it. What do you suppose some of these mainstream corporate Democrats are more angry at? Are they actually really angry at Bernie? Are they angry at Bernie himself? Or are they angry that the leadership of the party is not doing what he's doing? Are they angry when Chuck Schumer votes with Republicans to support the things that they're doing? And John Fetterman, for that matter. So the Democrats are not happy about this. Is it Bernie they're mad at? Or is it our own party's leadership that they're mad at? What do you think? And who should they be mad at? Should they be mad at Bernie? Or should they be mad at the leadership for not doing what he's doing? Now look, Bernie is not the only one doing what he's doing. He's the only one who's taken it on a tour across the country. There have been other outstanding members of the House of Representatives and senators who have been having town halls. But not this tour that has reached already millions of people that Bernie and AOC have been doing. There was an excellent town hall that happened in Arizona about a month ago where both U.S. senators, Senator Kelly and Senator Gallego, had a big town hall. And they spoke to the people in that audience very, very, very plainly. And told them, we get that you're angry, and you should be angry. And anger is a very motivating emotion. It's a kind of emotion that will get you to do things, get you to act. But by the way, we're in the minority now, because that's how 30% of the population voted. We're in the minority, so don't expect us to be able to stop much. And they told people that if you ever think you want to vote again, you better fight for those voting rights now. I looked this up yesterday just to make sure I was right. because I heard this statistic from Tom Hartman, and I wanted to see if I could independently verify it. Some 20 million Americans have been wiped off the voter rolls just since 2020. The overwhelming majority of them in 10 red states, with Texas and Florida leading the pack by a long way. But you also have the 2 Dakotas, Iowa, Wyoming, Montana, Missouri, the Carolinas, all in there. A lot of the old Confederacy. Texas, Georgia, and Florida leading the way. 20 million plus of your fellow Americans have had their voting right stolen from them. How different would the 2024 elections have been if 20 million people, overwhelmingly people of color and registered Democrats, had not been purged from the voter rolls? And when we think that the purchased, bought, paid for corruption of the Supreme Court stopped at Citizens United or stopped at reversing Roe, they have signed off on some of these voter purges. They have signed off on some of these voter purges. They've said they're okay. They've allowed them. So the purchase of the Supreme Court doesn't just stop by overturning Roe v. Wade. It doesn't stop by overturning affirmative action. It doesn't stop with Citizens United. Bettina in the chat says, I think they don't believe that they can win with Bernie or AOC. I would say this to Bettina, and you do not have to agree with me, by the way. My opinion. If the nomination had not been taken from Bernie in 2016, and I am not going to spend this program relitigating the 2016 presidential primary. I'm simply not doing it. I'm not getting into it. It's too long ago now. It's done now. Had that nomination not been taken from Bernie, he would have won that election. I don't think we ever would have had Trump. But by his own admission, Bernie's 83 years old. He's not going to run for president again. But that doesn't mean that other Democratic elected officials with his message, who agree with his message, who have fought for his message, Ro Khanna, Eric Swalwell, who I'm not actually a huge fan of, I mean, AOC's not going to run for president. I think she's actually more pragmatic and realistic than that. Cory Booker of recent. There are other. Elizabeth Warren herself is in her 70s. I don't think she has another presidential run in her. But you have the governors, Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan, Phil Murphy of New Jersey, Gavin Newsom of California, the governor of Kentucky, Mike Pruitt just said he's from Kentucky. I am blank. Andy Bashir. I was just blanking on his name. I'm going to see it pop up in the quote. Mike's going to go, Andy Bashir. Andy Bashir of Kentucky. And if somebody who might be a little more centrist, but might be appealing to people, Governor Moore of North Carolina, the former governor. I do think there are Democrats out there that can win. I happen to think AOC is going to be really hard-pressed not to run a primary challenge against Chuck Schumer for his U.S. Senate seat. And by the way, I would welcome that Chuck Schumer has been bought and paid for by the Israeli lobbies since his entrance into politics. He's been bought and paid for by AIPAC, and he's been an employee of them for a long time. So it wouldn't break my heart to see her primary him and take him out. And I happen to do think she can win a statewide race in New York. I really do. I do not know if she can win a national race. You know, the funny thing about running races in politics is you don't know you can win until you run. The polls can give you an indication. You talk to the right power brokers, they can give you I think you'd be okay, or no, I don't know about that. But you don't know until you run. And until you wake up the next morning and you see the results, you don't know. So when you talk about that you think Democrats may not believe that that they can win with Bernie or AOC, I think it depends on what you're talking about. I don't think Bernie's going to run for president again. He was just reelected to the Senate at age 83. So he's possibly going to be there until he's 89. Does he have another Senate run in him? I doubt it. I also think Bernie's pretty pragmatic. I think if he thinks he can't do the job, he'll step aside. AOC, I think, will run for the United States Senate, and I hope she does. Chuck Schumer needs to move on now. He's become a very wealthy man. Randall says, as an elected Democratic committee member in my local municipality, love Bernie Sanders for what he is doing along with other progressives. And you're right, there are other progressives. What he's doing with elected Democrats. Ultimately, oh boy, that's a long one. Lewis, welcome to the program. Welcome back. I haven't seen Lewis. LAS, Lewis Arthur Shoot. I'm doing an LA. I'm making you initials. If we do not learn from the lessons of the past, you are 100% correct. Mike Pruitt in Kentucky says we can pass on Andy Bashir. I'd be curious to know why you say that, sir. Then again, I am not in Kentucky. I do not know what you know. You live there, but I'd be real curious to see why you feel that way. John Quia says, I think we should have a POTUS named Jennifer or Jasmine. Jennifer, I'm not sure who you're referring to. Jasmine Crockett. The sad reality of Jasmine Crockett is that she's in Texas. I believe that Democratic money will come in to try to urge her to run for one of the two Republican U.S. Senate seats. But at the end of the day, the way elections are engineered in Texas, a young black woman is not winning a statewide race. And I know I'm going to get a lot of crap for that. I really do. You don't know he can't win till he runs. You don't know she can't win until she runs. If you don't let her run, how do you know she can win or not win? It's Texas. She's in Texas. She's a young, tough, smart, loud, and dare I say appropriately loud. Now, I don't mean loud as a criticism. I mean appropriately loud black woman. I think the only reason Rafael Cruz is a U.S. Senator, that's Ted. He likes to call himself Ted because he likes you to forget that he's not his Cuban in heritage. He wants you to forget that, so he became Ted Cruz. But Rafael Cruz has been elected to the Senate for 3 terms. 3 straight terms. And every time, Beto O'Rourke is going to beat him. The gentleman that just ran against him in 2024, whose name I'm missing. Strong, young, black man who served this country in the military with distinction. Who fought on January 6th, by the way. Fought the protesters on January 6th. Helped defend the Capitol. And he lost. So, Sorry. I'm going to get a lot of blowback for that. I'm going to get blowback probably saying that I'm even being racist. But we're talking about Texas here. I don't know. I don't know who the Jennifer is that you're referring to either. Oh, Mike Jackson says Westmore in Maryland. Yeah, I happen to be a big fan of Westmore. I happen to be a big fan of Westmore. Here's again another younger, I believe he's in his 40s, veteran who served with tremendous distinction, is a pretty darn progressive governor of the state of Maryland. Yeah, I happen to think he's someone that we can look forward to in this party as well. I would consider myself surprised. Jennifer McCormick. I'm not sure I know who that is, John Quia, and I'm embarrassed to say that I'm not sure I know who that is. But I don't think I know who that is. I happen to think... Now, I've told you on this program before that I completely believe that there will be elections in 2026. There will be midterm elections in 2026. I cannot guarantee to you that they will be free, open, and fair. Because as I just highlighted to you, in a report, I don't think I deleted it, I hope I didn't, that came from the Brennan Center for Justice. Voter purge since, spell it right, since 2020. The Brennan, it was the Brennan Center. The Brennan Center for Justice, BrennanCenter.org, tells us that 20 million Americans have been purged from the voter rolls just since 2020. Just since 2020. Not even going back before that. If I was to go back before that, let's say we do 2008. First year that President Obama was elected. Now we're talking about let me see. No, I don't think we have a number on it. I don't think they were tracing it back that far. It's like 2018, 2017, 18 seems to be the first time that we really started counting these things. But 20 million people just since 2020. So I think we'll have elections in 2026. I do not know if they will be free, open, and fair. I can't guarantee you that. But 2026 is a chance. And it's going to be the kickoff. You're going to start to see... let me back up. I also think there will be a presidential election in 2020. Well, I cannot guarantee you that there will be a presidential election in 2028. I think we'll have a midterm election in 26. I cannot guarantee if it will be free, open, and fair. I cannot guarantee you at all that we will even have a presidential election in 2028. Somebody keeps... Oh, it's Mike Pruitt. Okay. I want to make sure that I wasn't missing YouTube comments. It's Mike. But I believe that the number of Democrats who will declare to run for president in... Oh, I think I did see that. In 2028 will probably be 24. Because you have the 6 governors straight out of the gate, House members, senators, business people. I think you might have 24 Democratic officials run for, or try to run for the Democratic nominee for president in 2028, if we even have a presidential election. And the governors alone, just the governors, could be... I want to see if I can get to a dozen governors. I don't think I can. I think I can get to 10.
Shapiro or Newsom.
Shapiro, Newsom. I think Phil Murphy might have a go from New Jersey. He's a billionaire, can finance himself. Whitmer, Andy Beshear's already 5. J.D. Pritzker of Illinois, Wes Moore. I'm at 7. Maybe I can't get to 10 governors. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be completely surprised if Jay Inslee from Washington State took another shot at it. That's 8. If I got just 2 more governors, I'm already at 10. Then out of the Senate, you're looking at Cory Booker, Chris Murphy from Connecticut. I mean, there's 2 senators right out of the gate, and there's going to be more than that. There's always a couple senators that run for president that are think they're way more popular than they really are.
Can I pencil you in for the 2028 election?
You can write me in.
Yeah, can I write you in?
You can write me in. Yeah, you can write. Technically speaking, since I have been on this, that I have been doing this program, I lost an election. I asked people to write me in the one year for sheriff, and somebody wrote, I think a dozen people wrote in for sheriff, and I lost 7-5 or something like that. Yes, I actually lost an election, and I didn't necessarily tell people I desperately want to be sheriff. I just thought to myself, why? This is sad that these offices are just empty. Like, if 20 of my friends write me in, I'll be sheriff. And I honestly, I just thought to myself, it's not right. Like, we shouldn't just have these empty things like this and just have people be appointed to them so they can collect a paycheck. Because I'll collect the paycheck. How's that sound?
Always trust your car to the man who wears a star.
Yeah. And in Mayberry.
And in Mayberry.
He doesn't carry a gun. Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom. 7:02 Eastern Time. We are into our second hour of the Kennedy Effect, live with you for the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you. I'm saying it lots now because I broke the ice. That dam has broken, and we're flooding the plains, kid. For the 4th of May, 2025, we are live right now on the Facebook pages of the TCP Media Group, Our Revolution Pennsylvania, Hot101.net, and Ghost Claw Productions. We are live on our home group Facebook page for the program, That Other Side of Information. That's also the name of our YouTube channel, where we are live right now. Oh, did you check that, by the way? Are we live there? We do. You did. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes.
I completely forgot that you did such a thing, even though I asked you.
What, the GCPR?
No, our YouTube. I shared it over to our YouTube.
Our YouTube, yes.
We should be on both right now.
Yes.
We are live on our YouTube channel, That Other Side of Information, and the YouTube channel for Ghost Claw Productions Radio. Both channels right now live on YouTube. That Other Side of Information and Ghost Claw Productions Radio. The audio of the program blasting around the globe via hot101.net. Our name is our web address, Apple App Store, Google Play Store, and the Tune In Radio app. And GCPR.live, of course. Android app for GCPR.live. You can listen to us anywhere on hot101.net or GCPR. You can listen to us anywhere if you can connect to the internet, and you can do it all for free. Following us on hot101.net, the music returns. On GCPR.live, pre-show for the Villain's View. I assume they're on tonight. Pre-show for the Villain's View from about 8:30, 8:45. What am I blanking on? Oh, Conversations with Teen Nathan from 11. And I think I may be with Thomas tomorrow morning for the Sound of Coffee. I'm not 100% certain of that. I was supposed to be with him on Friday. He sent me a link to join him, and I didn't see the link. I was even awake on time. I just didn't see the link. So I figured that he didn't know how to get me a link, and I kind of forgot about it. If I didn't see it by the night before, and I just simply didn't see the email with the link in it. So it was really my fault. I should have been with him on Friday. Oh boy, my body. I can't eat more plain stuff than I eat, and still my body seems to reject it. What a nightmare. So really, it's I kind of apologize. I was supposed to do the program with Thomas on Friday, and I missed it. I blew it. I didn't see the link that he sent me. I didn't see it in time. I didn't see it till like 1 o'clock in the afternoon for whatever reason. So I did tell him I'd be happy to be with him on Monday. I return to work on Wednesday, so that'll be interesting. I do not believe that we're going to be with you on Tuesday because my Democratic Party duties are calling to me, and I have to be at a meeting on Tuesday evening that begins only at 7:30. Now, here's a joke that Randall will get, and he will agree with me that, there's time, there's vacation time, there's sick time, there's work time. If you know anything about European football, there's Fergie time. And then there's like Democratic Party time, which means that a meeting that's supposed to start at 7:30 will likely get started about 7:45. And even then, it's a hybrid meeting, which is partially Zoom, partially in person, so then they'll fight with the technology for a while. Just easier that I tell you I will not be here on Tuesday. It's just easier. Anyway, the phone line is already open, 267-227-9189, 267-227-9189, 267-227-9189. Phone line is open. We will take your phone calls anytime you want to put them on in. In fact, well, that's really small. You probably wouldn't see it. Let me see. I will put it in the chat here. One thing, George. 267-227. Nope. Why don't you put a hyphen in there so you can read it? One thing I got to look for, George. 227. This keyboard for this new iMac doesn't have the keypad on the side, the number pad.
Oh.
I wish I had that, because I'm very used to just taking my right hand and looking for the numbers and typing it in like you're dialing.
Well, you already hooked up the Iron Man one. We just have to find like an Iron Man keyboard.
Well, I got... What do I have left? I have 2 USB-Cs left that I haven't used yet. If I can find a keypad or a longer keyboard than this that has the numbers over here,
Right.
I could either take this one out and use that port. I got a couple ports left in that switch box you told me to buy.
I will look for one for you right now.
Oh, if I could only spell. If I only had a brain.
If you only had a
267-227.
brain.
Yeah, that's where I was going. 267-227-9189 is our phone number. I just put it in the chat. We will take your phone calls while we are on the air. We'll take you at least until 8 o'clock. I do not know. That final hour is hard for me still as I continue to recover. And I'm going back to work one way or another because the private workman's comp insurance company, who has actually been quite nice to me, did inform me that if I stayed out longer, I would receive less and less of my pay. And I can't afford that. So I pretty much have to go back to work, whether I'm ready for it or not. Chat has been very, very busy, by the way. Junquea has been naming some, I believe, Republicans that might run I wouldn't count on that quite yet. Remember, we're talking about one big major cult here. Let me see where we are. We did look up Jennifer McCormick. Very exciting. I think I actually did see her on MSNBC once, by the way. Mike Jackson says that I don't think a woman can win the presidency as America is too full of testosterone. That's a really valid point. I don't know that there's any woman that could win the presidency the way we are currently made up. And I do think misogyny and sexism had a lot to do with the last 3 presidential cycles. Trump had more, well, he didn't have more votes. He didn't beat Hillary Clinton. He lost by 3 million votes, but he beat her in the Electoral College. Democrats went back to an older white man. He won.
Could you check your phone messages? Am
I on the show? You should tune in. It's a pretty good show. You might want to check it out. It's pretty good. It's not bad. It's not a bad show.
I just wanted you to check it out. I'm sorry.
It's not a bad show. You should check it out occasionally.
Yeah. Well,
I see what you're seeing. It actually looks It almost looks exactly like the one I have.
It's got the number cruncher keys.
I know. How much? Oh, 35? That's not terrible.
Not terrible.
No, that's not bad. It does have the number cruncher keys. I do like the number cruncher keys.
Okay.
Is that your recommendation, sir?
It's the only one that I found because it does have the...
It does have 5 stars, but I don't know how many reviews it actually has. I tend to look at the reviews a lot. No, there's a whole list of them down below.
Yeah.
Amazon's Choice, which is gray and black. That's not bad. I'm shopping for things online. Why am I doing this right now on the radio show? This is help desk stuff.
Sorry.
Mike says that I think Harris came close and probably did win in 2024. There's more and more reporting. I have not talked about this on this program because I don't know what I think of the reporting. And I don't want to look like the sore loser. But there has been an increasing amount of reporting from Tom Hartman, from Greg Palast, and from other sources of vast voter manipulation and voter fraud in 2024. And I think it's something to look into. I wish I had an expert that I could bring on the program to talk to you more about it, who knew more about it than I, because I don't, and I'm hesitant to talk about it because I simply don't know. I just don't know about the reporting. Greg Palast has been a rock solid reporter for 40 plus years, and later in his life he has devoted his reporting strength and time and expertise into reporting about stolen elections. The way the gubernatorial election was stolen from Stacey Abrams in Georgia. He's reported on these voter purges. He's reported on the way Republicans have tried to stop overseas military ballots from being counted and absentee ballots from being counted. And he's made this his real work. And he's been reporting a lot recently, and I would have to do a lot more reading on it, and you folks know I don't read well. I listen to a lot of radio and documentary and news, and I learn a lot from that. But we have a lot of reporting, an increasing amount of reporting that the 2024 presidential election was stolen, was just outright stolen. And I don't know what I think of that reporting quite yet, to be honest with you, because I think it's an easy thing to say. I think it's hard to talk about stolen elections without sounding like Trump. And I also think it's an easy out for people who stayed home and now feel guilty for doing so, for people who decided to switch their vote from Democratic to Republican and now feel guilty about it. It's an easy out to just say that election was stolen. We have to look in the mirror. We did this to ourselves. The Harris campaign was not run as well as it could be. It simply wasn't. One of her main platform planks in 2020 was universal health care. Medicare for all. How many times did she mention that in 2024? Anybody know? 0. She didn't talk about that out in the road. Now, she talked about very, very progressive things. $20,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers. $50,000 for first-time small business. Expanded child tax credit. Cash in hand. The way Biden did it. And cut child poverty in half. She talked about very progressive things. She didn't talk about universal health care. She didn't talk about making it easier for people to join unions and expanding collective bargaining. I don't recall her talking about raising the minimum wage. And if I'm wrong, you correct me. All of you can correct me, but I don't remember her talking much about raising the minimum wage. She did talk a lot about student debt, which I think was wonderful. She talked a lot about medical debt, which I think was wonderful. She talked about bolstering the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau so that credit card companies couldn't charge you 30% interest, 40, 50, 60% interest. Cracking down on payday loaners that charge 75, 100, 150% in interest. But I didn't hear her talk about universal health care. I didn't hear her talk about unions. I didn't hear her talk about the farmers of Pennsylvania and the Midwest whose land has been destroyed by fracking companies who lied to them and told them that we'll just run the gas line under your property, you'll never know we were here. We're going to frack the gas out from under your property, you're never going to know. And then their drinking water, their tap water caught on fire or came out of the spigot orange, bronze, and brown. About making those people whole again by finding the shit out of the frackers. I didn't hear her talk about that. She talked about a lot of great things. I think she could have been a damn fine president. I think the policies that Harris talked about, if her name was Joe Harris or Juan Harris or Harris Patel or Harris' son, I think she could have been an Asian male, an Indian Pakistani male, a black male, certainly a white male, with the policies that she was talking about, and could have been elected a hell of a lot easier. She was a woman. That didn't help. I think Mike is right about that. Mike also right, the voter roll purges were part of the 2024 election malfeasance. I happen to agree with you. It wasn't stopped like it should have been. The courts didn't do their job. Mike asks, I think we have to remember as well that the fascist Republicans, the Trump Republicans, the billionaires have realized courts do not have enforcement powers. State courts do, because they can still get state departments of justice to be their enforcement arm. Local city courts do, because they can get city police and sheriffs to be their enforcement arm. Federal courts do not. They need the Department of Justice to be their enforcement arm. Well, the Department of Justice now works for Trump. It doesn't work for you, or me, or George, or anyone in this country anymore except billionaires and Trump. That's it. Mike asks, who in the... Bettina says American culture is still far away from electing a woman president. I happen to agree. I think it's sad, Bettina. Make no mistake. I don't sign off on that. I'm not proud to say it. I'm not happy to say it. But I think it's true. I think we're a long way away. Too damn far. Way too damn far. Every other major country on earth has had a female leader. Certainly the Western, the OECD nations. As good of a prime minister, as tough as he's been already, the new Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney, has been in his rhetoric toward Trump. Chrystia Freeland, I think, would have been the better choice. Imagine a strong woman meeting in the White House with Trump. Man wouldn't know what to do with himself. So I think the Canadians got the party right, but they may have gotten the individual wrong. Carney's talking a good game. I think Chrystia Freeland would have scared the hell out of Trump. Mike says, who in the Democratic oh my God, I'm so sorry, Mike. Who in the Democratic potential roster can stand out enough to be a viable candidate? I think Cory Booker can, to be honest with you. I do. Whether you like him or not, I'm just, you asked me a question, I'm giving it to you. I think Cory Booker could. We need a miracle like Obama coming out of nowhere. Yeah, we kind of do. First off, let's make sure we can have an election. Let's make sure that we'll actually have an election. And if we do have an election, let's make sure everyone's allowed to vote in it. Lewis says tomorrow, the 5th of May, is Alcohol Appreciation Day. Is it really? I know it's Cinco de Mayo. Is that Alcohol Appreciation Day? You don't know. Fern, hello to Fern Laird, who's listening in and has been a guest on the program twice, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I can't speak to why. Okay, oh, you did? Really? Didn't we do that before? We've invited him before, haven't we? I'd love. Oh my God, that'd be a huge get, dude. That would be huge, huge. It would be the biggest get in the history of gets. To be the biggest, largest, greatest. I don't do a Trump impression. I'm not going to start. I can't speak to why the corporate centrist Dems are mad at Bernie, but I can tell you that most of the people that I speak with on the ground think that they, and I believe she means corporate centrists, are not fighting for the people, but Bernie is. The amazing thing about Bernie Sanders is that what he talks about, not just in policy, but in the core principles of the Democratic Party, these are not new things. They're not new. They didn't fall out of the sky. They didn't descend here like on a heavenly spaceship like ancient aliens. They didn't. It's not a whole new philosophy. It just isn't. But they are, in fact, the core principles of the Democratic Party. Thomas Jefferson was one of the richest men in the country. Yet he created the University of Virginia. He believed in a progressive tax system where the people who had more money paid more, people who had less paid less, and people who had no money paid no taxes. That came from Jefferson. The Declaration, Jefferson contributed to the Declaration of Independence. He wrote the Constitution. He also held slaves. He was one of the largest slaveholders in the country. He was an amazing dichotomy of a man. You should watch Ken Burns' documentary on Jefferson. He talked about freedom and equality for all, women included, but yet was one of the largest slaveholders in the country. He talked about working people and poor people and the value of an education. He was one of the first to talk about how the government should provide medical care to people who can't afford it. what Bernie talks about, they are the core principles of the Democratic Party, or at least they should be. At least they should be. Pete Buttigieg is somebody I forgot who will probably run for president in 2028. Let me see. Donna believes there were voter manipulation in 2024. I agree. Try not to be a conspiracy theorist. I kind of feel the same way, Donna. Something doesn't smell quite right, but I also don't want to immediately say that it was some massive conspiracy either. Somewhere in between. Fern says, I spoke with many women who felt that the country shouldn't be led by a woman. It was very disheartening. I agree with you, Fern. You're right. There is misogyny within the female community. Within womanhood. Fern says I was guest 2 or 3 times, but it doesn't matter the number. You were honored to be. Well, you're always welcome here. You know that. 267-227-9189. 267-227-9189. 227-9189. I am beginning to run out of air, and as you heard me a couple minutes ago before I took a drink, I'm starting to get a scratchy throat for some reason. I'm not sure why that's happening. Anyway, it's 7:26. We're going to try to get you to 8 o'clock. Oh, I bet I know. Oh, I don't know who it is. Okay. Is it? It might be. I'm not sure. Mike, I think it is, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, 601, I guessed right. I got one right.
Hey,
that happens.
You missed my most important question. It was very early in the show, and
tell me.
I think it went right by you. I'm very curious. Who came up with the name Ghost Claw?
That comes from my partner Thomas.
Ah, because
and that's sadly, that's about as much as I can tell you about it. I don't really know where it comes from. I know that it's something that he has had at Ghost Claw Productions operating well before he and I met, well before we ever became as close of friends as we are, and before we ever became business partners in this venture. It's just something he wanted to call it. I was fine with it. It never bothered me. It is a little different. It certainly doesn't give away that the station is inherently political or progressive, although Thomas and I both are, as is Ben Arrow, as is Pastor Best, as is Pastor Clinton. But it just something that
noticed it.
It kind of came with the house, if you know what I mean.
When I first noticed it, it keeps running through my mind, and it's kind of become like maybe like a forgotten Roger Corman movie. You know, it's The Ghost Claw, starring Bruce Dern. And it'd be a Bruce Dern movie where he originated that crazy person character.
What was the hand from?
That's as far as I've gotten.
What was the hand from the Addams Family? Is that cousin It?
Huh?
Thing.
Thing is the hand.
There's also
so
another movie, and I'm very cozy on it. It scared me terribly as a little kid, but it was an alien's chopped off hand that grew like antennas or spines or something, ran around. I've never been able to find what this movie was called.
Well,
it's
remember,
one of those mystery movies.
The 10th Doctor's cut off hand grew into a whole new Doctor.
No. This is like back in the 70s. It's probably a movie.
This is in the early 2000s. It's Doctor Who. You folks are not caught up on your British science fiction, and I demand that you do so immediately.
No. Okay, let me explain to you. I have an encyclopedic knowledge going back to 1963 because I'm older than the show Doctor Who. But what you're referring to is. I grew a new hand. That's a fighting hand.
Yep.
Right. I know about the fighting hand.
The best
this was
of the Doctors, by the way.
I think like a state highway trooper runs over an alien, and the alien's hand is crushed off, and the alien hand runs away. I've never been able to find out what that movie was. There's another movie I remembered about this knight who brings all these dead knights in a catacomb back to life. and it scared the ever-loving piss out of me, and I could not figure out what the name of that movie was either from my childhood until about 20 years ago. I was in a DVD store, and I found out it was called The Singing Sword, starring the other guy that was in 2001, the guy that played Frank Poole, whose name is escaping me. It's a very funny film. I was
going to say
find it hilarious that those films that scared me as a little kid are all very silly.
I was going to say Pet Sematary, The Round Table, but not so much.
I'm not familiar with that one now. But that was just one of those curious things. I thought I'd bring it up to lighten the mood. And we're in the other side of information. So what is the other side of information?
So
that's another one of those phrases that I was curious about the origin of.
That name, the name of the Facebook group comes from April Riddick, who helped me start this program. And she, as a 1/3 owner, actually it's a little more than 1/3, it's about 40% owner of Hot 101, was instrumental in getting this program on Hot 101. And she thought it was a clever name, that we were giving people kind of a deeper understanding of the news. That the news would tell you something and not really kind of explain the history or the facts or science behind it. First off, there's very little news that is just news anymore. Where,
well,
you know,
we have to have this heartwarming story about a puppy at the end of the news every night, you know. And
well,
then,
you always end on a high note.
It's the thing that the Daily Show parodies with their moment of zen. But yeah, there always has to be a little feel-good segment.
But we don't do a lot of straight news in this country any longer, where someone just says to you, today in Washington, Congress passed this legislation. Here's what the legislation says. The vote was this to this. There were some defections, you know, from this party to that party and so on. Next thing, the president was in, I don't know, pick up St. Louis, Missouri yesterday, visited a children's cancer ward, etc., and just very straight. Here's what happened today. It's all infotainment now, and arguably, I'm doing the same thing. But I'm trying to do it, and I've tried to do it for 6 years. We celebrated our 6th anniversary last week in a different way. A little bit lighthearted when possible, with a smile, with a laugh whenever possible, but also with a, well, I mean, I was just talking about Jefferson before you called. Buried, deeply buried in history and science and facts, and that the number of people in this country who still don't understand what a tariff is staggering, considering the fact that we're all going to pay for it.
Yeah, well, you know, the port of Los Angeles, the port of Seattle, the port of Long Beach, the port of San Diego, they all are empty of container ships. Those ships stopped sailing from China like 2 weeks ago. And so those empty store shelves are about to start hitting in the next 2 weeks.
Absolutely. And the Chinese are smart. And the Chinese are smart for turning off the shipping.
Yeah.
They're playing a game.
Speaking of lighthearted things that we haven't talked about, there was that one lighthearted laugh that Trump gave us all this week by posting or reposting a picture of himself as the next pope. I thought that was so hilarious, I can't even believe it. It's so out of left field. And I wonder how that's going to land with my redneck, amusing Christian neighbors around here who are violently against Catholicism and the Pope. But they'll think it's how it's landing in a more Catholic part of the country. Well,
they were violently against the government, too, but it was okay that he's running it.
That's true.
And by the way, if you heard him give one of his, he hates the press, right?
Oh, we know that.
He hates the press. Yeah. He hates the media. Whenever he's walking out to Marine One, he loves to stop and talk to them because he loves the attention. He likes to be asked questions. He likes to only take questions he thinks he can answer. Usually the answers are not what normal people would ever say. They're filled with paragraphs full of incomplete sentences and random wild thoughts. We're all used to that now, sadly. Sadly, we're used to that now. We think it's normal. Because it's been around for 12 years now. We think it's normal. It clearly isn't. But we somehow think it is. But you'll remember, I believe it was... I don't remember which day this week. It was earlier last week. Maybe... It wasn't too long after the funeral. And he was asked who he thought the next pope should be. And he said me. And he was deadpan serious. Because they think I should be the next pope. I think I'd be a great pope. I think I'd be the best pope. A very Trumpian answer. And he wasn't smiling.
Love to see any reporter pin him down and ask him,
he wasn't
Pope
smiling.
Trump, what is your favorite Bible scripture?
The whole book, and then he'll give you the same answer
right?
he gave
Wouldn't
you 12 years ago. The whole book. I love the whole book. I can't point to one thing. I love the whole book. That's why he held it upside down, because he couldn't read the cover. But
2 Corinthians.
We he was deadpan when he said this. He was serious. And then of course he pumped Cardinal Dolan from New York City, which is somebody who, by the way, has not even been mentioned in the top 30 possible cardinals who could become pope. Dolan has not even cracked that, so he's not going to be pope. Interesting that he would choose Cardinal Dolan from New York, considering that Trump has turned his back on New York.
But even Francis, though, was of Italian heritage. He was just born in South America,
right?
Correct.
He's Argentinian. He's the first South
really
American
just another
pope.
Italian pope.
He's a South American, first South American pope, Argentinian national, with a very Italian name. But there's a lot of Italian names in Argentina.
I would nominate. Forget that cardinal. I'd nominate Robert De Niro.
I'd nominate
Pope Robert.
I would nominate Jonathan Pryce to continue to be Pope Francis. If you ever saw the movie The Two Popes, you should watch it. And if you haven't seen it yet, if you've seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Ralph Fiennes.
Conclave was. I don't want to ruin it for anybody because it's still pretty new, and the rentals of it are through the roof since Pope Francis passed, and there's going to be a conclave starting in another couple weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
It starts on a Wednesday, so there's be a lot of pressure for him to get out of town on Friday.
And not this Wednesday,
According to the author of Conclave, which is a great, if you can find it on CBSNews.com, the author was interviewed about Conclave, or they replayed an interview, and then a little bit of it, and Ralph Fiennes was in the interview and everything. But yeah, he said that they're going to convene it on a Wednesday with a lot of pressure for them to get out of town by Friday. Then he laughed, so I don't know if he was serious about that or not, but that's maybe what happened.
Yeah, if you have not watched Conclave, I think you should. I think it's a really, really well-made movie. The end, for me, kind of comes out of left field, but I think you should check it out. I think it's a really well done movie. It's a piece of art done movie. It's really, really well made. And if you've never seen The Two Popes,
who else was in that? Was Hopkins in
Anthony
that?
Hopkins. Sir Anthony Hopkins plays Pope Benedict, and Jonathan Pryce plays Pope Francis. And it talks about it kind of covers this kind of behind the scenes relationship of the two of them as Benedict retires and Francis comes along. So
what a offer from your agent. They want you to play the Pope, Anthony. They want you to play Pope Benedict, right? It was like they couldn't. Larry Linville was already dead, so they couldn't get a really fair-faced actor that resembled him.
It's an extremely excellent movie. The Two Popes is an absolute, just excellent movie. If you've not seen it yet, I strongly, strongly recommend it. I believe that one, Conclave, is on the Peacock app. The Two Popes, I'm not 100% sure. What I can tell you
Quick Google will get it.
is that I
thanks
do
to
have...
George for identifying my sci-fi
Yes,
movie.
George
Thanks,
found your
George.
movie. There's an app called Just Watch that I have on mine, and it's an app that will tell you what streaming services you can find any given program on. It's very, very simple to use. You open it, go in the search bar, type what you're looking for, and then it tells you where you can find it streaming. It'll also tell you if it's not streaming at all. Kristen and I happened to look up the Beatles anthology, the long one from the 90s, the one that was, I think, 5 nights, and was it 3 hours a night for 5 nights? It was like 15 hours or something, 20 hours, something like that. It was very, very long. And it's streaming nowhere. There's literally nowhere that you can find it streaming, not any single service.
I have it on VHS. Give me the copy.
Yeah, anyway, Netflix, Fern tells me that the Two Popes is on Netflix. Anyway, Mike, thank you so much, sir. We only got about 20 minutes left, and I got one more topic I want to try to get to, please.
I was going to hang up. I was going to sign off anyway. Just
no, you're right. Thank you, my
I know
friend.
Randall's got to probably try to get in there.
He should sneak in. We got a little bit of time, but there's one other thing I wanted to get to. I'm going to move on to that one, and then we're going to wrap up around 8. But thank you for taking the time and calling, and thank you for listening and being a loyal member of the audience.
Everybody listening, please call in.
It doesn't hurt a bit, does it?
Me and Randall.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt a bit, right?
Please call in, because he's so tired of talking to me and Randall. Please call him. Please, I beg you.
Not so tired.
Have a good night, man.
Not so tired, just a little tired. That's it.
Good night, man.
Thank you, sir. That's Mike. Thanks, Mike. There's one other topic I want to try to get to, if I could. 267-227-9189. Our airtime reserved for this program does go all the way to 9 p.m. And we've had a couple calls, and it's been great. Chat's been super active. But at some point, you just kind of run out of things to talk about. So please feel free to call. We can go past 8 o'clock. We can go all the way to 9. We seem to have exhausted one topic, and now, we've only had the 2 phone calls, but I do have one other story that I wanted to talk about. You might see over my right shoulder, the left-hand part of your screen, kind of a graphic-y thing that Kristen made for Mondays with Mackenzie. Have we seen our congressman? And we put him on a milk carton, because we don't see him. He had one telephone town hall that was pre-recorded, but we don't really see him. I don't think the telephone town hall was actually live. I think it was actually pre-recorded. I think they did it on a delay, like a radio program. And I think it's going to be very difficult for you on your end to blow this Q code up, but there is a petition here that you can sign to protect Medicaid. And I deeply invite all of you to do so. And I want to remind you of the other phone number. And Randall, I know that you're there. Just give me one moment. I'd like to remind you all out there in the audience of another phone number. There's 2 big phone numbers on this piece of paper. One is the phone number to call the program. But under here is the congressional switchboard number. 202-224-3121. 202-224-3121. This is the congressional switchboard. An operator will answer, and if you give them your zip code, they will connect you either to your member of the House of Representatives or your senator, or either of your 2 senators. And you can talk to their offices. As desperately as I wish you would call me so that we can talk to each other and we can have it as interactive a program as possible, I would like you to call your representative. 30 seconds for a phone call. That's all it takes. And I don't know anyone that pays for long distance phone calling anymore. Maybe there would be some rates included. I honestly do not know that. And if it's something that you think might break the bank for you, then don't send an email. It's cheaper. But you can call the office. 202-224-3121. Ask for your member of Congress and they will connect you. 30 seconds, you can tell somebody in the office what you think about Medicaid cuts, tax cuts for billionaires, the fact that Trump wants to now spend $1 trillion a year on defense. Senator Sanders says we're already spending $1 trillion a year, actually more like 1.4, 1.5. But anyway, Randall, go ahead, sir. How are you feeling?
Well, I had my first cataract surgery Friday on my the worst eye, my right eye, and I went yesterday morning to see the surgeon the day after the surgery, and he said my vision's already improved to 20/30, and he said it's most likely that I'll end up with 20/20 vision. I've been wearing glasses since I was in 3rd grade, so this is interesting. And I'm going to get the left eye done.
Did I get any better looking?
I doubt it.
Listen, I doubt it too. Because if you said yes, then I was going to say you better get your money back for the surgery.
Anyway,
what's on your mind?
Well, what's on my mind is the ridiculousness of Trump having a multi-million-dollar parade for his birthday that like every good dictator does in their countries. They're totalitarian, and saying, "Oh, well, it's the birthday of the U.S. Army. It's the same date, so we're having a celebration of that plus my birthday." But the bottom line is, now he wants a military parade for his birthday. He tried that in Trump 1.0, and that didn't go then. But it's going to go now, obviously, with all 3 branches controlled by the MAGA Trump party, and then so you got that, and you guys golf trips, 3-day weekends almost every weekend down to Mar-a-Lago that cost like I think it was $1.3 million every time he goes down there. And it has to, and then he rents out rooms for his Secret Service for the pay him, and it's just mind-boggling. And the defense budget, that is ridiculous. We should be cutting the defense budget, in my opinion. And I get throwback from more conservative Democrats when I say that, but that goes back to my roots protesting against the Vietnam War. No, we need to cut the defense budget. It's ridiculous. It's going to be $1 trillion plus a year now, and meantime, all these programs are cut. Like it's devastating. What was it? Rural health centers.
Yep.
Who funded by, I think they were funded by National Health. They've all been, and they were the federal government give money to the state government, the county government to have rural health clinics and free vaccines for kids for measles, and that's all been cut. And you just more and more cases of measles every week, just driving the numbers higher and higher and higher, and something that was gone from our country was gone, and it all come back with all these MAGA parents believing the propaganda that, oh yeah, it causes this, it causes that. I'm not going to go like it happened to my child, but you sure let your child die, in a hospital because they're unvaccinated. So anyway, those are things on my mind, and we've talked about this, and you've talked about those issues on your program before, but it's a refresher time.
Why
So
do you think?
you-
I'm assuming you missed the beginning of the program, which is perfectly fine, of course. But why do you think there are certain Democrats that are mad at Bernie? Do you think they're mad at Bernie for doing what he's doing, or are they mad that nobody else is doing what he's doing?
I think that you know, progressive Democrats like myself, you know, as an elected local municipal Democratic committee member for over 50 years now, plus, I think I have fellow Democrats here in my borough that are more conservative, and a lot of them are women. They're the women absolutely, they want a female president of the United States, which I have no problem with that. I come from multi-generational matriarchal families. My wife comes from multi-generational matriarchal families on her side. We raised our 3 daughters that way. But, you know, you talked about it on your show. I only missed about a half an hour of your show. And then the family was here, and I get distracted to say goodbye.
Oh, don't worry.
You
My
know.
God, it's a Sunday night. You're supposed to spend time with your family, for goodness sake. What
know.
we do here is not more important than your family, by a long shot.
I totally agree with that, Jeff. I totally agree with that. So I missed a lot of the program just because I was spending time with them, and then saying goodbye and hugs and kisses, and the grandkids and everything else. But I heard the part where you were talking about Bernie, and asked the question that you just asked me, and I think it's I think the common person, whether they are a registered Democrat, whether they are registered independent, or whether they're the few that have come to their senses as registered Republicans, that have attended his anti-oligarchy across the nation. I mean, heck, was it Friday? I know it's 4 o'clock in Philadelphia at Independence Mall, or no, City Hall. And was Friday the one up in Bethlehem he had up your way? And
Friday was Harrisburg.
Harrisburg. I know he had Harrisburg later in the evening.
And yesterday was right here in Bethlehem, yes.
Okay, gotcha. Anyway, so the pictures up there are like incredibly crowd.
Mm-hmm.
But any case,
it was a huge crowd. Traffic around here was a nightmare.
I
imagine. I'm not. You get that many people in one place, it's going to be a pain. But traffic was crazy around here. They filled the arena for him. They overstuffed the arena for him because it wasn't a sports event. They didn't have to leave the playing surface empty for the game, right? They filled it with chairs. So I think when you go to a basketball or wrestling match or something, a Stabler concert even, you usually get about 5,000. They had over 6,000 in there for him, and they turned people away at the door. It was first come, first serve. So it could, if it was Madison Square Garden, and they could have 25,000 in there, I think, without a problem. I don't know where the hell everybody was going to park, but because they barely got everybody parked for 6,000. But even if 2 people came in a car, you're talking about 3,000 cars. I mean, that's a lot. But they had over 6,000 people in there.
But anyway, getting back, I think the common people absolutely support Bernie Sanders And yes, you're absolutely right. He was torpedoed by the Democratic National Committee in 2016. He was torpedoed by Hillary Clinton in 2016. And he would absolutely have beaten Trump in 2016 because Trump picked up a lot of things he was saying, not believing in any of it, but he picked up a lot of issues, populist issues, that Bernie was on the campaign trail in 2016 was talking about.
And Bernie gave him a lot of good talking points.
Exactly.
Yeah. He didn't believe in a damn one of them. You're right. He didn't believe in a single one of them, but he gave him a lot to talk about.
he gave a lot of the false believers hope.
Yep, you're right.
But he didn't believe. He does not believe in hope for anybody except the super rich.
I would agree with that. Yep. Yeah. If you can afford it. Hope if you can afford it. Just like schooling if you can afford it, seeing a doctor if you can afford it. Right. All of it. Yeah. Life.
Yep.
Life if you can afford it.
Yep. Anyway.
All right, sir.
I'll let you go. So you said you want to get out here by 8, so I'll let you go.
Yeah, I think the conversation just sort of wound itself out. So no worries, it happens.
Okay.
So George and I are going to wrap things up here, and then we'll talk to you guys probably on Thursday. I do have a Democratic county committee meeting that I must attend on Tuesday night, as I was mentioning to George, and you well know this, Randall. You know this. There's work time, there's vacation time, there's sick time, and then there's Democratic time. The meeting is supposed to start at 7:30, so we should hopefully be started by 8. Because nothing ever starts on time. You've been doing this a long time. You know we rarely start our meetings on time.
Oh yeah. All
right. Thank you, my friend.
I hope I'll see you at George's on the chat or over at the Villain Speak.
You got it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. God bless everybody. Bye.
Good night, Randall.
Anything you want to add before we get out of here, my friend?
No.
We got about 4 minutes.
Andor Season 2 is very, very good on Disney, I have to say.
So you did tell me to check that. I still haven't watched Daredevil.
Oh. But the season finale, very, very good.
I haven't seen any of Doctor Who. I thought I was going to watch all this when I was home, and I just...
I saw happened. 2 episodes. It's okay. I haven't watched the third one yet. But
I haven't seen any of it.
The one with the theater is I don't know. Well, we'll have to talk to Matt about that one.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, here's the plan. Here's our upcoming schedule. We will not be with you on Tuesday. My elected office responsibilities call me that I will not be here on Tuesday. I have to be in a meeting, and I do not believe that meeting will be over in time for me to be with you, plus allow me time to get the computer and so on up and running and get everything ready to be with you. So we cannot be with you on Tuesday evening. We have every intention of being back with you. I'm going to check my calendar right now to be here on the on Thursday the 8th, and then there's no program on Mother's Day. And I know that sounds like it sounds like a crazy schedule. There's just not a much I can do about it between my health. We're pretty much through the technical problems now. The internet seems to be stabilized. That seems to be fine. But it's really down to health, work, and other responsibilities. And now in the next couple days, well, the next week really, the schedule just isn't going to allow us to be here. And besides, it gets very choppy for us in the summer, right around this time of year. We won't do a show on Mother's Day. We'll be here on the 18th. And then we will not be with you again for Memorial Day weekend. So we're off on off. Then we do June 1st and June 8th, but not Father's Day. And then we do the 22nd and 29th, and then we're off for the 4th of July. So it's summer. It just kind of is what it is. It's not officially summer, of course, but I think pretty much once the way the weather has been with the heat and the humidity and the thunderstorms and so on, it's pretty much summer. So that kind of just is what it is. But I know this. Don't forget our weeknight programs, our Tuesday and Thursday programs. If there's ever a time, like on Mother's Day, we're not going to be here on the 11th, but we'll be here on the 13th and the 15th. So, look, there's just... Oh, maybe I'll be with you on the 15th. I would have to skip. Yeah, well, we'll see. That was a bad example because I have another political responsibility that night, too. But anyway, I think you get my point. The schedule's going to be a little choppy, so just hang in there with us. Pay attention to the Facebook page, for goodness sake. If you are not already a member of our Facebook page, please come there. That is the best place to get announcements on when we're going to be on and off, or if we have to have a late term cancellation because of I thought there was a good chance. We were expecting really, really bad thunderstorms tonight. We got lucky they did not come. So we did not get knocked off the air. There was a possibility of that happening. Last night we had terrible, terrible thunderstorms. The power did flicker a little bit. We did lose the internet for a while. We were supposed to get them again tonight. I'm looking out the window right now. It actually doesn't look half bad. I might be able to take the dog for a walk, but it's been raining pretty much all day. We were supposed to get really, really powerful thunderstorms. They did not come. So we got lucky there. But if there's ever a late kind of cancellation news, technical problems, something, I get sick, I have to go back to the hospital, something like that, the Facebook page is always the best place. In fact, George, if you could possibly drop the link of the group into the chat, that would be lovely. If you would possibly be able to do that while we wrap up. So that's basically it for us tonight. Now, again, we will not be with you on Tuesday, the 6th, but we fully expect to be with you on Thursday, the 8th. We will not be here Tuesday. We expect to be with you on Thursday. For everyone at hot101.net, I want to say thank you to my hot101.net family for being extremely, extremely patient and understanding and kind with us when it comes to this very... Oh my goodness, my body is just... I'm ending at just the right time, trust me. I think there's just some foods that I can't eat anymore, but I haven't figured that out. And that's my problem. There's just things I cannot and should not be eating that I think I can still eat, but I can't. Especially post-surgery. And I think I just discovered what one of those things was tonight. But anyway, that said, for everybody at hot101.net, I want to say very deep and sincere thanks to the hot101.net family for being patient and kind and very, very understanding with our choppy schedule with guest hosting and hospital visits and doctors and political responsibilities and so on. They've never complained. They've never said a word. They've never been anything other than incredibly, incredibly supportive. So for DJ Lex, DJ Earl, and everyone at hot101.net, thank you so much for allowing us to be part of your Sunday evening. We will see you again on Thursday from 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thursday, the 8th from 8 p.m. Eastern Time. For those of you at hot101.net, thank you again. And the music returns right now. For everyone at GCPR, that's Thomas and Gilbert and Gambit and just everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We will be with you again Thursday from 8 p.m. You got a little bit of a break right now. Go grab some popcorn, do what I'm going to do, walk the dog, do some dishes, clean up from dinner, whatever it is that you need to do. The Villains View pre-show should be beginning around 8:30. 8:35, 8:40, 8:45, somewhere in there, and then they go full throttle, full program from 9 p.m. here on GCPR.live. Conversations with T. Nathan from 11 p.m. And Thomas returns tomorrow morning, possibly with me, maybe with me, tomorrow morning from 8 a.m. here on GCPR. We will see you again on Thursday. So for our GCPR family, little break, Villains View pre-show 8:30, main show 9 p.m. We will see you next Thursday. For those of you watching on our video platforms, thanks for being so patient. As always, we've done about all the damage we can do. For Lynn and George and Kristen and Daisy the dog, I'm Jeff Kennedy, and April Riddick, of course. I'm Jeff Kennedy. We'll see you again Thursday. We've done about all the damage we can do for one night. So until Thursday.